Kenyan, I'm an African. You're living what door? What door are you leaving open? You don't like your house, you don't like your life, you don't like your possessions, you're playing. You're playing. What's up? Melon Turkey here. Welcome back to my channel. Here I share about my life, about God, about my businesses and everything I'm doing. And recently I relocated to Australia to study my master's. So it's been quite a journey. So as you can see, today we are talking about culture shock. We are talking about the things that when I got here, I was like, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that yet. Nah. But yeah, so this thing I found some entertaining, some very, but all of this to say, I will be doing two parts of this. So this is the first part. So if you're watching this one before the other one, or the other one before this one, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get to learn some insight if you're planning to relocate, or just for general knowledge, and so make sure you write down on the comment section whether these things are shocking, whether they are normal in your country. And also I'd love to get feedback if you are in Australia and going through these things, and we're together in this. So let's get right into it. So the first thing that hit me at the airport is the sockets. The sockets are different. So if you are a Kenyan, you know that our sockets look like this. Here, they look like this. And so that means that your charger has to have different pins. Are they called pins? They have to have different pins because you won't be able to charge your phone. So luckily I had come with a power bank that helped me until I could buy an adapter, because all my charging cords have Kenyan plugs, right? So I had to buy new chargers, everything. So that was a lot. So if you're planning to come here, just be knowing, whether it's for travel, whether it's whatever it is, just be knowing the sockets are different, and having an adapter will save your life. It will save your life. Let's go to number 2. So number 2 is Australian people are so friendly. They are so friendly. From the moment let me tell you what happened at the airport. I was so scared. I don't know if it's a Kenyan thing or it's an African thing, or it's just anyone who's traveling to a new country. It's like we're so afraid of the authorities, right? So I was getting to the place where we're supposed to show our passports and yellow fever card at the airport. Mine, I don't know why I dug it beneath, somewhere down my suitcase, right? So I was struggling to get through it. I had to open my suitcase. You know that embarrassing thing of opening your suitcase in front of everyone? I was just doing that, struggling to get it, and I had put it in a file, so I was struggling to the girl was just like, "Madam, relax, it's okay, I can see it, keep moving." I was like, "Oh, thanks." I almost cried because I don't know, I was feeling so pressured. I'm like, why are you wasting time? All of that. Maybe that's trauma. But yeah, so other people here are so friendly. The number of times I've gotten lost and had to ask for directions, first of all, there are many, but also people are just so willing to give directions, to help you with something. Even in the supermarket, the attendants, the cashiers are so nice. Or also you can do the I think it's called checking in. There's still someone there to assist you if anything goes wrong, and you just feel like it's okay to make a mistake. It's actually okay. I think that's one of the things I learned when I stepped into this country, that it's actually okay to make mistakes, and people here don't necessarily condemn you for something embarrassing happening. They don't laugh at you or whatever, unless that friendship stuff. But otherwise, people here are actually so nice. They're so welcoming, they're very chill, they're very friendly, and all of that, which I love for sure. Let's go to number 3. So number 3, one thing that shocked me is the bus system. So in Kenya, when you enter into a bus, or what we call a matatu, which is a van, or even trains, I actually have never gotten on a train in Kenya. Interesting. Anyway, so when you enter, you just enter, sit down, then there's a tout and there's a driver. So the driver just drives, but of course the driver drives, but the tout comes to collect your money, and the price of the fare changes in between throughout the day, right? So in peak times, like in the mornings and evenings, the prices are high, and during the middle of the day it will be a bit cheaper. Here they are constant. So once you what you pay with is called a Smart Rider card. I don't know if it's only in Perth or everywhere else, not too sure, but you pay with a card. So once you get into the bus, there's at the door there's a thing, I don't know what it's called, but you tap on it and it automatically starts charging. You go sit down, and when you first of all you press a bell so that the bus driver knows that you're stopping on the next stop. So first so much information. There are bus stops, and the bus stops are clearly marked. So in Kenya you can stop, yes, there are stops, common stops, but most of the time there's no mark there. You just know, oh, I'm supposed to get on this one. When they say this name, I get down there. For here, no one is talking in the bus. You just have to know where you're going. That's why Google Maps is your ultimate friend. So all you have to do is press the bell, and then when you get out, you tap on it, so it has charged. It charges on the card automatically, and the prices for in Australian dollars is actually very cheap, because most bus rides or train rides would go for like $1, $2, $3. The most I've seen is like $3.50 cents, right? But of course it can be more, but the distances, I travel to school for like an hour and 15 minutes, and I pay $3 maximum per day. So you can imagine, and I take 2 buses to go, so yeah, so buses are really cheap. Actually, people here can survive without a car for sure, except if you're doing jobs that require you to have a car. That's why most people buy cars, but essentially you can actually just live on bus rides, train rides, because also they're very efficient. Because another thing is, a lot of people use Google Maps here. No, everyone really at this point. Google Maps is so efficient. In Kenya, where I come from, Google Maps are very essential when you're trying to find a direction to some place, and when you're using Uber, right? So what happens here is, or rather, you can use it the same way everywhere, but in Kenya we usually don't use it to tell us the amount of time it will take for us to get there, and it's sometimes not accurate. Here it's very accurate. I know from the moment I leave my door, walk to the bus stop, and get on a bus, get on the next bus, get to my school, walk to the library, walk to whatever building I've put that's in my school, I will get there in that amount of time. But in Kenya we don't use Google Maps for that. You just need to know, okay, where are you going? Fine, that's where. Then you use whatever roads are the shortest. But here it's very essential. That's why you'll find everyone on the buses just on their phones on Google Maps, especially for international students or people like me. So let's go to number 4. So another thing that shocked me is the way people here leave their doors unlocked. I'm a Kenyan, I'm an African. You're leaving what door? What door are you leaving open? You don't like your house, you don't like your life, you don't like your possessions, you're playing. Yeah. Also, guys, if this mic, it's my first time using this lapel mic. I got it from Kenya on Jumia, so I'm hoping it's not crackling. I'm just talking. I'm going on. But if it makes noises, I am so sorry. I will learn how to use it better. Anyway, as I was saying, leaving doors unlocked was a shock to me, because in fact when you're looking for a place to stay, one of the things in terms of items that are put there, in terms of what is there in the house, you'll be told, okay, there's a shower, there is a bathtub, there is a kitchen, there's a dishwasher, this and this and this. One of the things they tell you is door locks, which to me I thought was normal. I was like, duh, who's supposed to stay with their doors unlocked? Aussie peeps, because here the safety is paramount. Like it's so safe here. And not to say that you can't be careful, but you'll find that 90% of the time, or people don't lock doors. First of all, I don't even lock my room. No one in the house locks their rooms, you know, and even their houses. And most people here don't lock even their cars and all of that. So not to say there's no crime, there is some few, you know, people here and there, but otherwise people actually don't lock their doors at all, you know, which was shocking to me, again, because crime trauma. The number of times we have fought with the robbers, no thanks, no thanks. But here they just leave doors unlocked. Let's go to number 5. So number 5 is in terms of school life. So teachers here are so chill, and they are, I think the culture is just very informal. Not to say they're not serious, but the thing is, people here call teachers by their names, first names. Again, I'm an African, I'm a Kenyan. It's Mrs. Odhiambo, Mrs. Wangi. What are you calling Beth? Mary? Sudan? You will be it's disrespectful in our culture to call older people, someone older than you, especially teachers, people in authority, calling them by their names. That's not. Here they insist. In fact, if you call them Miss, they'll be like, no, I'm just Sue, I'm just Mary, no thanks, I'm just Tom, you know. And I was like, okay. And even in class, the first time I had one of my classmates saying, Kevin, excuse me, Kevin, I was like, we are built different. Because till this day, I've never called any lecturer. First of all, okay, I've never had a reason to call them. What I usually do is just raise my hand, but I don't call them by their names. But I know it will get very weird if I have to call them by their names, you know. So anyway, that was a culture shock. But teachers are also very relaxed. They like being asked questions, they like explaining things, because I don't know, again, I think because the culture is just, there's a lot of feelings of equality between everyone. It's called it's not a hierarchical kind of society where person here, you can't get there just like that. Of course, there are some companies which are like that, but essentially you'll find that most institutions encourage that level of equality, right? So teachers will have you converse with them normally. Back in my country, that is not the case. In fact, teachers, I feel like sometimes teachers feel disrespected if you keep asking questions, you know, like you're not understanding, or if you, for example, if you're late for submission, there's no explaining it. No, there's nothing like that. So you don't get a chance to really interact with your teachers or your boss in a way that makes you feel very comfortable. So you always have to be, you know, don't bring your stuff to me, right? So that's one thing that shocked me as well. Number 6, which is funny, people rarely hoot here. People don't use their car horns. In Kenya, it's music. Everyone, everywhere is just beep, 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 beep. In fact, public transport uses that, as they even put tunes on their car horns, you know, so that you just know they're coming. Here, I think I've only had people hoot twice since I came to this country, because I was trying to recall it. I was like, people actually don't hoot over here, you know, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just because, I guess, also the road rules are very strict, so I wonder if that is the case, because everyone is just minding their business and stuff. So I don't know, but that one, it got me thinking a lot. Yeah. Number 8, which is something that I had a question in, which is about racism, right? So I moved to a country which is predominantly white, but actually, you know, Australia is one of the countries called abroad that is very intercultural. So I have never, since I came, I have never faced anything like racism, ever. All the people I have talked to who are white people, who would essentially could be, or rather who we are used to hearing are the perpetrators of racism, nothing. In fact, people are curious to know about your culture. People are curious to know what happens, this and this. So they will ask you questions, very friendly and all of that, which I thank God, because I don't know how I would have felt if I was in a place with like very concrete racism. And not to say there are no cases like that. I know people who have gone through that, but in this country, the law is very strict on discrimination. So such cases are dealt with very severely. So I think that also brings that aspect of, okay, let's just follow the rules. Let's not mingle with people we don't like, rather than mingling and then being racist in the midst of that. So that's one thing that I have never faced here, and I have found to be very refreshing. So it's very comfortable to be here. You don't feel like you don't belong and all of that. Number 8 is selectiveness. Now, this one I kind of knew because, of course, we always know that countries abroad are very clean and have very strict rules, and so it's also followed a lot. So it's very normal to see very clean streets and all of that. But the fact that there are so many bins in this country, I feel like every 10 meters there's a bin. Every 10 meters there's a bin. And some of them just the normal bins. A lot of them are the sectioned ones, the ones for recycling, all food stuff and all of that, and a lot. So it's like they're showing you, why are you throwing this? And the dustbin is right there. You are the problem. Clearly, you are the problem. You better fix that. But what refreshed me is that it keeps you now, you don't think about littering, and I feel like if you are found littering here, people will be so irritated at you, because it doesn't make sense. Not to say there's no litter at all, but I have rarely found trash thrown on the road, mostly in I would say mostly in residential areas, right? So if it's like outside someone's home, which is basically for them, like their business to figure that out. But in public places, it's very rare to find trash, right? And I'm sure, of course, there are people cleaning as well, just in case people litter around. Yeah. So let's go to number 9. So there are many international people in this country. I love that a lot, because we get to experience different people at every point in time. One of my closest friends from school is Indian. She has taught me about the food. We talk a lot about how relatable their culture is to Kenyan culture. I have friends who are Indonesian, friends from China, friends from Japan, so many different places. And I feel like majority of the people I've seen here are international people, not even Australian. Australian, of course, you'll know them because of their accent, but most of the people here are actually international. Kenyans are a lot, in case you're wondering whether you'll find Kenyans are a lot. Of course, we all know, right? But there are so many different nationalities here, which I find refreshing, because there are so many cultural events that you get to attend, get to just go see the culture, how it is. And that one, I think, makes it more livable here, because even that, a small thing like seeing people on Google Maps in the bus refreshes me, because I'm like, oh, I'm not alone. Even me, I get lost. Even me, I'm waiting to see which bus station I'm supposed to stop at, or things like that. So you end up, all of you guys, helping each other in the midst of all of that, because you all understand you're in a new country, new culture and everything. So I find it very refreshing that there are so many international people. Now let's head to the second last, which is number 10. Number 10, card payments. So when I came to this country, I had cash. I didn't have a bank account, of course, because I didn't have a bank account or a card to pay in. So I always had to pay with cash. But here it is almost essential to pay with cards, because everything you can just tap. You can imagine not looking for money all the time down there, and then having to count, especially with the coins. To this day, I still don't know which coin is what. I don't know how to, because of course I'm used to reading Kenyan coins, knowing which one is how much. Here I even gave up. I gave up because now I started using the card. So what you do is you just tap on that PDQ. Do they call it PDQ? I think on the card, or you can actually use your phone, whereby when you get to the PDQ, you just double click your phone and your card immediately registers on it there, and it's paid final. So you can imagine you don't have to carry your card, you don't have to carry cash. All you need to do is just have your phone, do that. So which is really nice, because it saves you a lot of thoughts when you're going to the shops or whatever. So last thing for this video, because there'll be a part 2, trolleys in supermarkets. So this is not something that's very common here. It's just because I live near a mall, so that's why I think it happened a lot here. But people go with trolleys to their houses. So I think it's not everyone. I think it's for people who live around the mall, because why would I drive, come, pay parking, go into the supermarket, again get into my car, then drive home, then whatever. So they just prefer to walk with their trolleys. The first time I did that, I was just trying to see if I'll be stopped by anyone. I'm shaking. I was shaking. Of course you need to return them there, but you don't have to return them on that day. That's the thing. No one will actually talk to you, no one even cares. Everyone is just going on with their lives. So essentially, of course you'll return them, because now your whole front door or your kitchen looks like it's full of trolleys. But I'm guessing some people never because me and my neighbors here, we all have trolleys outside our homes, so I just think it's just for convenience. I'm not saying that this is something that everyone does or it's even legal, because I'll be shocked. I won't be shocked if I'm told, you're actually not allowed. It's just that people do it. So I don't know about that, but that one came as a shock to me. And the first time I did it, I was shaking. I was like, because in Kenya you can't. What are you doing with the trolley? The nearest you can go is the parking lot, and there's a place, of course, to put trolleys, which is also here. But if you live nearby, even on the bus stops, people leave trolleys on the bus stops, so that one came as a shock. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this first part of this video. Make sure to watch the next one. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. And if there's any information that you need from me, or any videos you'd like me to make about Australian content, I would love to. And yeah, make sure you subscribe for sure, and we can keep on living this journey together. Thank you. See you on the next one.